Most dropshipping experts will tell you that the best way to test products is to do it in the Big Five. That is the US, Canada, Australia, UK, and New Zealand. Well, what if I told you that there is another way? Most experts will also tell you again and again that the best way to get profit margins over 40% is doing it with organic traffic.
Organic traffic to our blog.
Organic traffic on TikTok.
Organic traffic.
From complete organic free traffic.
I get it, organic traffic means you don't have to spend money on ads, but it does also mean that you will have to spend many hours every single day producing content before you even know if the product works. Again, what if I told you that there's another way? Stick around because in this video I'm going to show you how a student of mine who started as a complete beginner was able to use this strategy to make over 57% in profit dropshipping with Facebook ads. So today I'm going to show you the story of Jose Salinas, a student of mine from Peru who was short on cash for testing products but still wanted to use Facebook ads. As I usually do with these case studies, we'll have Jose with us at the end of the video for an interview so we can talk to you guys about his experience starting as a beginner. But before we get to that, I'm going to walk you through the strategy that allowed Jose to get over 57% in profit while still using Facebook ads. Let's start with understanding the problem first, because if you don't understand the problem, you won't be able to find a solution. As with anything in this channel, I like to teach you guys how to apply these strategies for your own businesses, not just give you copy-paste recipes. There are two main reasons that cause people to end up with low profit margins when dropshipping with Facebook ads. Number one is that Facebook ads are expensive. Your CPM, which stands for cost per mile or cost per 1,000 impressions, on Facebook these days will usually go between $15 and up to like $25 if you're targeting the Big Five. That means you have to pay Facebook $15 to $25 to show your ads to 1,000 people, which is pretty expensive. Problem number two is your cost of goods is usually very high compared to what you can reasonably charge your customers for the product that you're selling. If we dig into this point, however, we figure out that what is actually making the cost of goods so high is the shipping cost. This happens because if you're dropshipping products from China, you have to use air freight for it to get to the customers within a decent period of time, and air freight isn't cheap. What if I told you that you can cut out these two problems entirely? And no, the answer doesn't have to be organic traffic. You don't have to go spend the next week shooting videos. You can still use Facebook. What my student did was use a local dropshipping strategy. Jose was just getting started, and since he was on a tight budget, he realized he wouldn't be able to test enough products with the money that he had. I've said this before a few times, but testing a product on the Big Five will set you back around $200 to $300 if you want to give it a fair shot to succeed. So my student decided to give it a go at testing products in his home country, and lo and behold, he discovered that his CPM running ads in his home country was $2. Remember when I mentioned that the cost per 1,000 impressions in the Big Five usually averages between $15 and $25? He was getting $2. Now let's do the maths to find out how much he needs to spend for a product test. If we take into account that he would have to spend about $300 to test in the Big Five, and in the Big Five, Facebook would charge about $25 for 1,000 impressions, which is to say you would get a CPM of $25, that means that he would need around 12,000 impressions to test the product. Now, if he's running ads in his own country, Peru, and there Facebook will charge $2 for 1,000 impressions instead of the $25 that he had to pay for in the Big Five, that means the same 12,000 impressions required to test the product will only cost him $24. So instead of having to spend $300 to test a product, he can do it with $24. And now you might be wondering, but is it that easy to test products in a country like Peru? No, it isn't. There's a reason most dropshippers recommend you to start testing with the Big Five. However, Jose did what any successful entrepreneur would do, and when faced with a problem, he solved it. He knew he didn't have the money to test enough products in the Big Five, so he made it work in his own country. One of the first issues takes us to the problem number two of low profit margins with Facebook ads, which, as we said, is the shipping cost. Shipping products from China to Peru are not just very expensive, they're also very slow when compared to the United States. So Jose knew that he was going to have to buy in bulk from China, take a slow and cheap shipping method to Peru, so he could then sell it locally with fast shipping. A new problem was in the way though. He was saving a ton of money on ads by advertising locally, but he was forced to buy in bulk, so he would end up spending more money again. The solution to this wasn't that complicated. The market in his own country is nowhere near as exposed to dropshipping products in the Big Five, so it's not that hard to find a product that can be massively saturated in the Big Five, but completely inexistent in his local market. Finding a product that doesn't exist in his market market, even if it's saturated in the big five, is a great method to exponentially increase the success chances of that product becoming a winner. So that's what he did. He found a product that didn't exist in his local market. He tested it with Facebook ads, spending $24, which is so ridiculously cheap that it feels silly just to say it. And the result was about $8,760 in revenue with $5,000 in net profit, which for a beginner is an amazing achievement. Now let's hop onto the store so I can show you the proof for these results and the ads manager so we can talk about the strategy that Jose used for testing and scaling. So we're in the Shopify store here. Let me just refresh so you can see that this is the actual store. During the time that it was selling, it sold about 60,721 Peruvian currency, Peruvian sol. So if we convert from Peruvian sol to US dollar, this comes to about $15,800. Now, the thing is, Jose was doing cash on delivery. So we have Jose's details here where he explains that he had 292 orders, but 106 canceled orders. So only 186 orders were actually paid, because remember, if you're doing cash on delivery, people don't actually pay for the order when they place it on the website. They still have to pay when the order arrives, and only 63.9% of people actually paid for the product when it arrived. The reason that Jose went with cash on delivery is because people in Peru are still not too familiar with e-commerce, so they prefer to pay only when they see the product arrive, because of course they're afraid that they would buy the product online and not receive the money. In these countries where e-commerce is still not as prevalent, cash on delivery can make a huge difference. So Jose used cash on delivery to massively increase his conversion rate, adapting to the country that he was selling in. Again, 63.9% of the orders were paid, which means that Jose actually collected $8,760. For shipping, he paid around $579, and for ad spend, he paid $1,482.28, which is absolutely insane for the amount of volume that he got. This is only possible, of course, because the CPM in Peru is extremely cheap. Then for stock, he paid $1,058. Nationalization, I would assume, is a tax that he has to pay when the products arrive. He paid $20, and he paid $600 for a move to Bolivia. Here you can see the screenshots from the Alibaba orders that he placed. The total came to $1,678, which means a net profit of $5,020.72, which for this sort of volume is absolutely insane. 57 profit margins with Facebook ads. Now, before we move on to look at Jose's ads manager and go over his testing strategy and his scaling strategy, I want to tell you about the sponsor for today's video, which is USAdrop. USAdrop is a great solution for anyone who wants to do local drop shipping within the United States. So if you're struggling with long shipping times and you have a big market in the United States and you want to do local drop shipping, and if you don't want to have to pay in bulk to bring your products to the United States, or if you want to test products in the United States with really short shipping times, USAdrop is a great solution. If you want to sign up for a USAdrop account, you will find a link in the description below. Now here, if you log on to my account on USAdrop, I can show you how it works. It has a section about winning products. It has a section about orders, which is pretty much like most suppliers will have. They will take the orders, which is pretty much the same as any good quality supplier. They will have an app that integrates with your Shopify store, so they can pull the list of orders from your Shopify store and you can fulfill them automatically with one click. You have the sourcing menu, so you can get products sourced from AliExpress. You just post the link from AliExpress for the product that you want, and they will source it for you. And then you have two sections here about winning products, which is pretty much a product research tool that is built into your account. And here is the interesting part. You have this button right here that says USA, and these are the products that USAdrop has in stock in their warehouse in the United States. So if you look through this list and you decide to work with a product from this list, you can just click one here as an example. Let me show you. So you have a shipping time of 1 to 3 days, which means that if you want to sell in the United States, you can start testing this product right now. You don't have to buy in bulk. You don't have to do any of that. And you'll be able to test the product with a 1 to 3 day shipping time, which of course is a massive advantage, and it gives your customers a much better experience right from day one. So this is the big advantage of USAdrop. You can browse through this list of products. It's pretty extensive. They have a lot of products on site in their US warehouse if you want to test the product with a very short shipping time, or if you're scaling one of these products and you don't want to commit to buying in bulk because you don't have enough volume or you're struggling with capital, this is a perfect solution. You can just get an account for USAdrop, doesn't cost you anything, and you can get these products sourced with 1 to 3 days shipping time. So that's the recommendation that I had for you guys today. You also have POD, so you have print on demand products, super good. As a side note, I highly recommend that you start looking into for Valentine's Day. There are some amazing POD products for Valentine's Day, and that's pretty much it. That's what I wanted to show you guys relating to USAdrop. If you want to have short shipping times without buying in bulk in the US, check out USAdrop. I'll leave a link in the description. Now let's have a look at Jose's testing and scaling strategy on Facebook ads. Let's open up his testing campaign right here and let's see what he was doing. So he was using a $5 a day budget, which when you have $2 CPMs is more than enough. And let me show you the kind of results that he was getting. So look at this. CPM, everything is actually way below $2. Jose told me that he was around $2, but it's actually even lower. $1.47, and you have an average cost per click of 7 cents. This is a massive difference. If any of you guys have been dropshipping in the big five, you know how meaningful this is. Pretty good CTR, 2%, but the cost per click is absolutely insane. So if you take an ad set here, for example, this winning ad set for shopping malls that got 20 purchases, he spent $181 to get 20 purchases. And he got purchases at $9.54, which for Facebook ads is really, really good. Now, you have another one here with $8.50 purchases. If you guys have been working with Facebook ads recently in the big five, you know that these cost per purchases are very, very healthy. $6.21 cost per purchase here. And you can see that after testing all of these ad sets, he tested them in ABO campaign, used an ABO campaign, $5 a day. He would shut down anything that didn't get an add to cart on day one. And then if it got an add to cart on day one, he would let it run for 5 days. And if it wasn't profitable after 5 days, he would turn it off. So the ad sets here that run for more than 5 days were the ones that are actually profitable. So let's recap on the testing strategy that Jose used for this store. First off, he started testing single interest ad sets, $5 a day, for 24 hours. If anything got an add to cart, he would run for 5 days. If it didn't get an add to cart, he would turn off and test a different interest. If the ad set was profitable after 5 days, he would then take this ad set into a scaling campaign. So let's have a look at the scaling campaigns here. We can see that we have 2 scaling campaigns and 2 retargeting campaigns. By the way, if you want to learn how to do retargeting, check out my full Facebook ads guide, because that is the exact strategy for retargeting that I've explained in that video. And for scaling campaigns, you can see here you have these 2 CBOs, which is just 4 copies of the winning interests. And he was running these at $25 a day each. And you can see this one did very well. This one ended up not doing so well, so he turned it off early. This one was the best campaign, spent $400, 3.77 ROAS. So retargeting also 4.23, very good ROAS. Even on the testing campaign, the ROAS is very good. So as you can see, local dropshipping is definitely viable, and you can get crazy profit margins when compared to dropshipping products in the big five. So now let's talk to Jose. We're going to have him for an interview, and he's going to be sharing his journey with you guys so you guys can understand how he was able to achieve this, starting out as a complete beginner just within a few months. So hello, Jose. Thank you for taking time for the call. And thank you for accepting to do the interview, to talk to our viewers a little bit about your experience with dropshipping, going from a beginner to start seeing your first success. So let's get right into it. The first thing that I'd like to ask you is, if you could tell us a little bit about your life before e-com. So what were you doing when you found out about this business model? And yeah, just tell us a little bit about how that was and how you got into e-com.
First, thank you, George. For me, it's a honor to be invited by you for this meeting. Actually, as you know, I am a software engineer. And for the people that is watching this video right now, my name is Jose Salinas. I am a Peruvian. Actually, here the food is very good. Before to be involved in e-commerce, I am a software engineer. I work for multiple companies here in Peru. I am very good at it also, but the last 5 years before pandemic, I've been doing direct selling. I think was a pretty interesting opportunity where I developed my skills. And the reason that I decided to be involved in in e-commerce basically was because I was looking for my personal reset. I was looking for a new opportunity to earn money, and after, as you know, I am a software engineer. I've been involved in direct selling, uh, technology myself plus sales. I think e-commerce was a good option to start with it. So for me, that's the way that I get involved with e-commerce.
And what were you struggling the most before you became successful? So you started trying drop shipping. Did you get into the mentorship straight away, or did you try by yourself first? And what were your struggles first before you got successful?
I think the thing that I struggled the most was there is a lot of content on internet.
Hmm.
So there is a multiple person that share their point of view. I think I remember that I was a little bit confused because when I run campaigns, I didn't know if the product was the problem, or the
Mm.
landing page or the product page. I didn't know exactly. I didn't know how to measure very well the metrics. So I think the most complicated thing was that I didn't have a good strategy, a solid strategy to measure everything and to have the right criteria to verify the process.
Yeah, a lot of people say that their main struggle is selecting information because there's an overwhelming amount of conflicting information. So definitely understand that. Did you ever feel like giving up?
I would like to say yes, George, but actually no, because I don't know. It's something like me, because I think when you start a journey, you have no option to giving up. Here in Peru, or in Spanish, we said, quemamos los barcos. I don't know how to say that in English,
We burned the
but
boats?
yeah, burning the boats.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's you have when you start something, I think you need to have failures and success. It's the
Mm.
same, because with both you learn and you build your journey. So I know that if you start, I started failing with the products that and launch campaigns, but after that, every step that I move forward, I recognize that I will be improving. And after the mentorship that I took with you, for sure, I improved a lot and solved a lot of mistakes that I didn't know that I was making.
Well, why did you start to go for Latin America countries? Because not a lot of people do this. Most people choose to go for the big five countries because they're the biggest markets. Why did you decide to go for your home region? So you started selling in Latin America, right? Why was that?
Actually, I decided to do that because first was the fact that the cost of advertising is very cheap.
Okay.
I mean, if you see the cost of United States or Big Five, it's big. And you see Latin cost. Okay, Facebook ads, the CPM are really really cheap.
What was your
So
CPM running Facebook ads? We'll have a look at this when we go through the case study, but from the top of your head was like your average CPM running Facebook ads in Latin America.
for example, last year when right now it's a little bit higher because every month the demand of and the offer that people is enjoy is starting in e-commerce is growing,
Mm-hmm.
but the last year was very cheap. $2, $3
Mm, okay.
was very cheap.
Yeah.
So you can test products with $4 and
Yeah.
$5. Yeah,
Yeah.
was very cheap actually.
So just to wrap up, why do you think most people starting e-commerce businesses fail? And what advice do you have for people who are just starting now?
Um, I think the persons who failed in the e-commerce journey is there's two main reasons. The first one is that they have scared to invest. I think they are only have, I don't know, a little bit money. They think that with that money they should start and be the exception to with $3,000 or $500. They will be so lucky that they will multiply it by 10.
Mm-hmm.
Probably I think that mindset is very bad. And the other thing is don't have a good structure. They don't have a fully and complete strategy. So for the solution for that, I think, and it's an advice from me. The first thing is that you should take three decisions. The first one, okay, you will establish an amount that you will invest,
Mm-hmm.
$1,000, $800, whatever. After that, because you need to be free in your mind, I suggest you to lose it. Think that you will lose it, because if you don't take that decision, when you run campaigns and when you do all the process, you will be so worried about the money. But if you are free, and you say, okay, I will lose it, that's fine. My life won't end if that money is disappear, for example, no?
Yeah.
So with that, you are free to in your mind that and do and take the third decision. The third decision is commit to do an exceptional work. I think this is the real difference between who continue with the e-commerce journey and the person who don't. Because, for example, if George tells you, okay, I will show you this product strategy, look for product research strategy. Okay, look for 10 products. Okay, if you do 10 products, it's okay. But if you commit and do an exceptional work, look for 20. Okay, and every step in the process of to build all the funnel, do an exceptional work, and you will be do it because you will be free. You won't be worried about the money because you decided before to lose it. So and you in with that experience, you will improve your process of developing a good e-commerce store. um, the other one is choose a good mentor. Choose a good mentor. Have a good mentor who is really doing the business, who has achieved some goals. So we show you by the experience, not by books, not by everything. Or you need to have real experience. So I highly recommend you to have a George as a mentor because he teach by example. So I
Thank you.
think, yeah, this is the best advice for that people.
Yeah, I really like, thank you. And I appreciate that. And I really like that you said, don't stick to the minimum, go beyond it. So don't just do what someone tells you that you need to do that and then some more. Because if you work more, you can expect more results than the minimum or the average, right? So that is a really good point. That is a really good point. And you cannot possibly do less work and expect more results than other people. Then it wouldn't make any sense. Right. So yeah, thank you for taking the time. I really appreciate that. It was very nice talking to you, and yeah, I hope your experience can help and inspire some of the people watching to not give up and keep going, because the only way you don't win is if you give up, right? So thank you.
Thank you so much, George, for the opportunity. And also for me, it was a pleasure to be here. And I'm really happy to share this message with all the students and all the people in your channel.
Thank you. And that's it for today's video. I hope you learned something useful. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.